Good morning. It's about 7:30 in Dallas. Beautiful sunrise. I wanted to talk a little bit about the news and basically to tell you that I don't know what's going on in the news. And I want to challenge some of you to maybe do the same thing. Maybe turn off the news. Right now, I guess we have an election cycle. We have an election coming up. I know we do, but I would challenge you that the news is just giving you bad input. Hey. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Robin. Yeah, I watched a video this morning, and I posted it on my page, but on my wall. But it was about how the news gives us the story that they want us to think, right? And I know I'm going a little conspiratorial here, but the things that are in the news are not necessarily the truth. You're getting a slanted, biased story, and in some cases, some of it seems to be made up. So there's enough things that I've seen that are inconsistent, and kind of a larger, like a macro view of what happens with our the micro environment we have with our narcs, where they gaslight us. They're incongruent. Their body doesn't match their body language doesn't match their words. Their actions don't match their words. And the same thing I see, and this is why I'm posting this, is that I see is that you get the same thing in a lot of cases in the news, because you'll get a soundbite about how so and so cares for you, or this politician is going to do this, and then it doesn't happen, and so you've got that disconnect again. And so I almost see it as like if I watch the news now, I'd probably be re-traumatized or something, because it's just so confusing and inconsistent, and there's emotional reactions, and the 30-second commercials are going to make you happy, and if you don't get this, and you're not going to be happy until you get this new microwave oven that cooks faster or something. It's just, so all the consumerism, all the things that are pushed, there's enough of it all around on the internet, what I've seen. So guys, I'm just telling you how I keep the crap out of my brain, and it's just that I just don't turn on the TV. I just don't do it. I'll watch things on YouTube, but even my YouTube that I watch little things on, little clips and some shows, it doesn't have commercials in it, and I get to pick the content, right? I'm not just being blindly led to believe this or led to believe that, or you should feel this way or you should feel that way. And plus, here's the thing, the news is usually, now news is on a national level. I remember back in the day when it was like your local news was only on twice a day, the evening news, and the national news was on at 6, and then the local news was on at 5, and then it was like at 11 o'clock was the other broadcast of the local news. But now it's just on all the time, and it interrupts everything, and it's just almost information overload. And I think what we've got now with when we go no contact with the narc and everything, is that we have that void and we want to fill it. So maybe we fill it with something that maybe isn't the best thing for us. And I think if you fill it with news stuff, and you watch the news more, and you start thinking, not really looking at yourself and taking time with yourself and spending time with yourself to kind of see what you want and find out what you're all about, I think you're missing out, because it's really the news. You can't really can you do something about a bombing in New York or whatever? I mean, can you really do anything about that? Maybe you can read about it in a Facebook news article and say okay, and make a mental note of it, but there's not really anything you can do. So there's that sense of, I want to do something about it, but you really can't. I mean, maybe you could send donations or something, but I just think anybody that asks for money, is, unless you're getting something back in return for it, something tangible, I just think you're just, you're putting yourself out there, and you might be vulnerable too. So anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about. Job interviews. Yay. Yeah, booking job interviews. There's some great sites out there right now for booking jobs. I remember a few months ago I was using some, and there's some now that aggregate all the jobs. Like they take Monster and all these different job sites and they combine them into one. And I can't remember the name of it. I think it was Indeed. Indeed was one, and there was another one. But man, there's some great job sites out there, and you can just post your resume really quick. Anyways, that's kind of off topic, but the news is just what do you fill in your brain with when you wake up in the morning? You know, are you eating a bowl of cereal, or are you eating a bowl of news? I mean, are you giving yourself some nutrition, something positive that you can carry with you throughout the day? Because that first few minutes of the day is just so key, you know. And I was telling somebody I'm just waking up feeling blessed every day, and I was asked, you know, do you have bad days? And I said I don't, for the most part. Now I have bad moments, but they quickly go away because I'm on to the next thing. I'm kind of like that squirrel, you know, that short attention span, but in a good way, because I'm not latched on to the negative stuff. I'm not latched on to gotta have this, or this has to be this way. And so life just goes a whole lot more smoother when I'm not trying to make it have a certain outcome, or gee, this has to happen, and, you know, this person has to do this in order for me to be happy. Because the truth is, people aren't going to follow what you want to do at all. You try to tell somebody to do something, no, they usually don't. But what happens is, if you're in a good spot and you're, you know, I don't know how you want to look at it, sending out good vibrational energy, or you're just in a good place, people are going to be naturally drawn to you, and they're going to want to be around you, and and that's how you can help them, is just by offering them that support, or, you know, a hand up, help them out. And that just comes from you taking care of you. That comes from you just focusing on you and taking care of you, not focusing on somebody else. Oh, I got to fix them, or, you know, oh, I'm going to help them, and oh, I'm really worried about her, you know. Okay, well, that's nice, and it shows compassion, but your whole day, or even more than 10 minutes, shouldn't be about worrying about somebody else, something that you have no control over. You know, if you can help somebody out and you want to do that, that's one thing. But to mentally just have it go over and over and over in your head, and you can't do anything about it, I've just found it to be pointless. And it just takes up a lot of energy that you could be using to develop yourself and grow, and you know, look forward to other things, set goals, and that kind of stuff. So I know 2 years ago I was in a very, very bad spot. I didn't have hope. I couldn't see the positives. It was just it was very dark. I said dark, and it just went dark here. Some trees. Wow. Woo-hoo. You guys are getting a show today. And then the light came. Yay, there's a light. Oh, it's so dark. Okay, there it is. So I can just, if I can encourage you, is to just fill your mind up with positive things. And it may seem kind of hokey, but, you know, I developed kind of I don't want to say an addiction, but a craving. But I look forward to the positive information I would get in the morning. Now, if I did it in the sense that I felt like I had to do it, well, I got to do this to get better because I want to go back to the way I was, that wouldn't work. But if I pursued the information and brought it in with a sense of wow, let's just see what this can do, like almost like a kid exploring an area that he hasn't been in before. If I do it that way, man, the information just, like, stuff is absorbed so much faster than if I'm trying to put it in a certain way, or doing it for a certain reason, that, you know, oh, I have to get this positive, I have to get better, and, you know, that just, gosh, that just stresses me out just thinking about it, because that's what I used to do. I used to put so much pressure on myself. Well, I've got to change, I've got to do this, and you really don't have to do anything. You really have so much choice in what you can do during the day, that, and I'm saying that because I didn't realize how much power I actually had to do things that I could do, that I could control, instead of focusing on, you know, what's going on in the news and everything. That's kind of a distraction. And it's almost I think it's almost a sense of or a form of denial that you're denying. You're kind of like moving away from maybe where you know you need to be, because your emotions, your body's telling you, hey, we need to address this over here, and it's like, no, you know, I need this distraction. So it's just a balancing act. I mean, I think sometimes you do need distractions, but for me, I almost had too many distractions for a while, and then I had to just kind of deal with what was in front of me. Oh, it was fearful. I was fearful, all right. But once I kind of moved through it, I was like, wow, there's not these fears that I had. Is just like, wow, they were just fears. They were that false evidence appearing real. It's, you know, I've heard that so many times, and I just was able to put it into practice. And so I just want to encourage you to just, you know, just give yourself a break and give yourself some positive stuff. Turn off the news. It's so subconscious and subliminal and all that too. It's just